Greetings all, and welcome to the Branch Riders actual play. Branch Riders is a story-focused tabletop role-playing game centering on the 8 realms known as the Branches, a strange and intelligent virus known as the Blight, which can infect anyone and anything, and a secret agency known as the Branch Riders, whose members fight against the Blight to protect the branches. This game has been in the works for about 4 years and just launched on Kickstarter about a week ago. I'm very excited to be showing it to you all today. My name is Bonnie. I am one of the writers and game designers for Branch Writers, as well as the game master for today's adventure. I will be guiding our players here through their mission in the Borderlands. And all of our players introduce themselves. Let's start with Nyx.
Hello. Nix is actually my character. I'm Crystal Mazer.
Apologies. Uh, then going on to Monty, if that's how that's pronounced. I'm guessing here.
No, Monty's fine. That's good, actually. Yeah, hi, I'm Monty Lin. I am playing Nathaniel Chen, nickname Spectre.
Uh, and Bliss.
Hello, I am Bliss, and I am playing BB Biggles Bigelow today.
And last but not least, Ryan.
Yeah, I have the pleasure to be Ryan. I'll be playing Marika Wildfire Vesh today.
Thank you all for being here and helping me showcase this incredible game today. I'm going to explain some quick info about the settings for the game, and then we'll hop into the mission. The players here already have some knowledge of the game's mechanics, but there's still some things for them to learn about, and I'll explain the rules as they come up. First up, in Branch Riders, there are 8 branches, realms which all have their own settings, histories, genres, even. Very briefly, there's the adrenaline-fueled post-apocalyptic competitions of the Rails, the broken sci-fi utopia of the Terminal, where the recovery of knowledge is a desperate fight against a rogue AI, the authoritarian dystopia of the Party, where magic and even emotion are prohibited, a 1960s inspired social media superhero cityscape in the Heights, a harsh high fantasy crags where the blight infests the ecosystem itself, the scattered islands and steampunk pirates of the chain, where the blight is a tool used to power the might of the Steel Imperium, the endless city of noir mysteries known as the Burrows, inhabited by anthropomorphized animals, and the Borderlands, the branch our mission will have us traveling to today. The enemy you will usually be fighting in this game is known as the Blight. It can come in any shape and make a host of anything. Its purpose is to bring chaos and despair, which it will do to any extent it can by any means it can. It exists in every realm, but it is unknown to nearly all of them. Few can see the Blight, and most who can are scoped out by the Branch Riders as recruits. The Branch Riders are a secret organization consisting of former inhabitants from every realm, all living in the Nexus, a hidden station hidden in a place between the realms. They are an organization dedicated to combating the Blight and protecting the realms while going as unnoticed as possible. The branches are not to know of each other, the curtain which separates them, the Blight, or the Branch Riders. Those in the organization must maintain secrecy, even if it means those in it must leave their former lives behind. They are sent out in teams to investigate signs of the Blight, locate it, and neutralize it. Today, our team of branch riders, fresh out of the academy in the Nexus, are being sent to the Borderlands, a Western realm where art is a matter of expression and survival, filled with creatives trying to find their voice in the mystical frontier, a place where every song, poem, and nightmare is a stroke of paint on a canvas which can turn anyone's thought or creation into a piece of everyone's reality. You have all been informed that there are blight energy signatures appearing in small amounts across a large area. They're appearing seemingly randomly with very little knowledge of their origin, just based on the sort of scanners that y'all have back in the Nexus. But they're kind of all spurring around in the same general location. Well, general for an entire reality, that is. Many of the signatures seem to fade out after a bit, but some linger and spread the blight even more between the citizens of the Borderlands. In the Borderlands, the blight often makes its move on artists who struggle to find their creative voice, abandon works that are long forgotten or still haunt their creators, and occasionally art that's been brought to life by the frontier itself. Combating the blight in this realm could mean helping a writer get past a block, writing some notes so an unfinished song can find peace and completion, a high noon duel against a furious opponent, or something else entirely. You can never really be sure what you'll find in the Borderlands. Stay on your toes. In a place where anyone's art could be an obstacle or a tool, you'll need to come up with some unique solutions. That was the warning your briefer gave you before you were sent out through the portal in the Nexus into the Borderlands. As you enter in, the sound of an acoustic guitar and the sight of a blaring sun, a well of psychedelic water, and a bedazzled tumbleweed. It all hits you at once as you take your first steps into the Borderlands. The desert landscape is filled with colorful buildings and tunes on every street corner. Architects, musicians, painters, you name it, walk around in their dusty boots with personalized chisels and paintbrushes holstered at their hips. You all get a moment to just sort of look around, gather your immediate surroundings, sort of scope out what might be going on here. So, what do you do?
I guess Marika, I would. So being from the boroughs, I don't look like most people in the realms. So I've taken to doing a bit of like proprietary research about local fashion. So I've donned a poncho and a big like Stetson to hide the fact that I am just a walking moth. So I've got two really feathery antennae trapped under the Stetson, and the poncho's covering my my wings. And I just kind of hunch my head further into my shoulders to try to hide the fact that I do not belong here, and also the heat is awful for my skin.
All right, what about the rest of y'all?
So Nyx is an elf. Looks a lot younger, but acts way older than she looks. And she kind of scans everything, looking as if it's going to attack her. She definitely does not understand art, does not get art. That's not her thing. Growing up where she did, struggles with that. So very on edge.
Well, being on edge might actually help you in this situation, as your vigilance does spot you something out of place, even in this world that is unfamiliar to you.
Oh.
Everyone around here is human. You're not really looking for like animalistic features like you would from someone in the burrows, or even something like pointy ears. You're also not looking for something that is human shaped, except for that it's kind of just missing just a part of its face. It's missing some features. It's human adjacent, but the moment you catch a sight of this thing, you get this guttural feeling that something is wrong with it. You start noticing that there's some spurred off lines, almost as if its skin doesn't quite connect. No, that's not skin. That's paint. This is walking paint. It sort of turns to you. Its one eye is just blank. And it starts walking towards all of you. It's got a bit of distance away. Distance away. You've got some time to prepare, but even Biggles, who I believe is from the Borderlands, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, this is not any sort of native creature to this realm.
Do I recognize it as like probably something that somebody painted, like, and I'm like, oh yeah, this happens sometimes, or am I like, I've never seen anything like this before. What the heck?
Could you make me a roll?
Yeah.
Give me so in Branch Riders, whenever you need to roll to do something, there are 3 dice. First up is your approach. Your approach is sort of the mindset or way of solving the problem or whatever else that your character is approaching the situation with. In this case, I'm thinking observant. You're trying to kind of like look at the details of this thing, see if you recognize it. I'd also accept knowledgeable. So
My
I'm
observant is
willing to.
better.
Alrighty. As far as the second die, that is your skill die. Or rather, it's your technique die. Your technique is either a skill or your character's gift. A skill is sort of just honestly, it's just the skill that you uh use to go through with your action. Alternatively, you can use your gift. Your gift is a special ability unique to your character. It can be used at a few different skills. We'll broach that subject a little bit more when one of our players here use the gifts, because I believe I already gave y'all the basic rules on how gifts work.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we'll tackle gifts a little bit more later. And then the third die is a situation die. Y'all might see a little exposure tracker. I'm not exactly sure where it is. I think it's like directly below me or something.
It's in the center of the overlay. Yeah, it's directly beneath you.
The exposure tracker determines your situation die. That is how aware the blight is of your presence and how much blight the power has over the current situation. As you just dropped in, blight is basically completely unaware to your presence, and so you're starting at exposure level 1, which means that you have a 10-sided die to use for your situation die. So, I'm thinking again, either knowledgeable or observant for the approach. Skill-wise, I'm good with culture. If you want to argue on like approaches or skills, if you're like, oh, well, could I use this because of XYZ? Absolutely feel free to talk to me about that. Yeah, so otherwise, gather up your dice, make your roll.
Okay. I got a 2, a 1, and the situation, I got a 7.
Alrighty. So, in Branch Riders, the level of success you have with your roll is based off of how many of your 3 dice roll a 4 or higher. Each 4 or higher on a die counts as 1 success. So in this case, you've got the 7 is your 1 success. The other 2
Mhm.
dice were a 2 and a 3, correct?
Yeah, 2 and a 1, I think.
Oh, okay. So yeah, neither of those are going to count as a success. Um, with 1 success, you're actually given a choice. You can either succeed at a cost where you succeed with what you were trying to do, but something negative happens, or fail forward, where you fail to do what you were trying to do, but something positive happens for you. Which would you like to take?
I'll do a fail forward.
Alrighty. You don't recognize what this thing really is. I mean, it's drawn, painted in some way, but you already effectively knew that. Um, on the bright side, something you do notice about it is, as a branch rider, you are somebody who is able to sort of see the blight. That doesn't mean it's always obviously apparent. You see traces of the blight as you're kind of trying to analyze this thing. You kind of see this purple undertone in its skin. It only seems to be partially infected, but the blight is spreading through it. As it continues to take steps towards you all, its gaze, it's hard to say if something can have a gaze when it barely even has one full eye, but its gaze is sort of filled with curiosity. It begins sort of taking a notice in all of you out of a crowd, almost as if it can sense something. And as you begin to look back at it, Biggles, it fixated that gaze on you and is now going from a walk to a sort of a limped run.
Ugh.
It will be there very soon. You can see the purple sort of coming more to the surface of the paint.
Guys, I think this thing wants to kill me. What should I do?
What did you do this time, though?
I didn't do anything.
And then
You
now.
looked at it, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's probably what set it off.
I
All
think we
right.
should lead it to someplace isolated, right? We don't want anyone else to see what's going on.
Yep.
Seems like a good plan.
Be like, hey, come on, this way. If you really are following me.
Alrighty, so y'all are just booking it somewhere?
Yep. Making sure that Biggles is, not getting behind or caught up, especially if it's fixated on her.
Yeah, let's lead
Alrighty.
it to like, behind a shed or something.
I guess I trailed to make sure that no one was following whatever this creature is.
Alrighty. As y'all are kind of making chase, or rather, making chase in that you're making sure you're being chased by this thing, you do manage to find some space behind, let's say a saloon. Does that sound good to y'all? Would you be willing to stop behind a saloon for this thing?
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
And there is actually someone following you now that you mention it. I'm sorry, character name, Marika?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see someone in kind of like, sorry, I'm trying to, he's kind of got like this red bow tie on. He's got this bowler hat. Um, he's in very like clean clothes for the Borderlands. I mean, people in the Borderlands care how they look, but they are still in the desert, so they can only do so much to not look like they've been in the desert. Uh, but no, he's got a very fresh shine on his sort of like white shirt, bit of flare on the sleeves. And he's kind of trailing behind. He looks more like he's following the thing chasing you all rather than any of you.
Does he?
Mhm.
Two questions. One, what are his shoes like? Are they polished? Are they dusty?
They're very polished.
Cool. So he hasn't been here that long. And 2. Has he seen me yet?
Yes. He
I can do
actually
something.
gives you a bit of a wave when you look back at him. He's like and kind of keeps following you.
Okay.
Can I? Oh,
No,
go ahead.
sure, go ahead. I was just going to say, like, I give, because not from here, I don't really know how to react to that in a way that most people would. So it's just kind of like the nod TM kind of thing.
All right. Can I cut away from the group,
Mhm.
duck behind something, and then one of my pieces of equipment is a camouflage cloak. I want to
okay.
throw that on and then come up and sneak up behind him as the group leads on and follow him from behind.
Okay. Hmm. I am still gonna need a roll for that, but I am gonna
Absolutely.
let you increase one of your dice for that camouflage.
Ooh, okay.
So I'd say you're following this guy. I tend to say observant when it comes to stealth, just like keeping an eye, making sure that you're not seen.
Yeah.
Uh, and in this case, you're also following someone, so I think observant works. I believe I'm worried that we've changed some of the skill names since I last played. Do you have sneaky on your sheet?
I have subtlety or
Subtlety.
survival.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go with subtlety.
Okay.
And then your situation die is a D10, so I'll let you raise one of those up by, I tend to call them dice ranks, so like a D4 upgrades to a D6, D6
Perfect.
upgrades to a D8, so on and so forth. You can go up to D12 in this system.
Ooh, I can't get there, but I'm gonna up my subtlety to a D6.
Alrighty. So yeah, give me a roll.
I got 2 successes, a 10 and a 6.
Alrighty. Two successes is just a full yes result. You succeed what you're trying to do, nothing more, nothing
Cool.
less. So yeah, you're following behind this dude who's following behind all of you. The rest of you make it behind the saloon. This thing at this point is running much faster, and as the blight sort of takes it over more and more, um, it begins to sort of the eye it has finally gains a purple iris. Its hands sort of grow very long fingers, like unnaturally long fingers. Um, and it sort of, when y'all stop running, sort of reaches out one of its fingers over to touch Biggles. Are you willing to let that happen?
No. I think, can I use my thingamajig and paint a hole in the ground right in front of me so that it falls in?
Are you asking to use your gift?
Yes, please.
Alrighty, so I believe your gift is something from nothing, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So, uh, right. So, we're about to be using a gift. So these are those sort of special abilities I mentioned earlier that you can use in place of skills when rolling. A gift is a sort of, it's either a sort of magical power or a special item or just a skill that you've developed, a unique skill you've developed from your home realm. In this case, Biggles has something from nothing, a gift from the Borderlands, one that allows them to sort of turn their art into life or affect their reality around them with it. So, when using a gift, you can use it as a free ability, which usually doesn't have you rolling anything, but it's not all that powerful. Um, then there is the self scale, which means that you're usually just affecting yourself or just something immediately in your area with it. The other scale, which means you're affecting either some spot in the world or somebody else with it. And the world scale, which means you're affecting the entire area around you with it. This sounds like an other scale. You're trying to get this thing fall into a hole in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I'm good with approach-wise. I'm thinking I'm good with creative. I'm good with observant. You did sort of set this thing up. And then your gift is going to give you a D8 in place of needing to pick any skill.
All right.
And then situation die is still a D10.
Two successes.
Alrighty. Are you sort of Looney Tunes sawing a hole in the bottom of this? Are you painting a circle around to
Yeah,
hollow it
Wile E.
out?
Coyote style, painting a big black circle on the ground.
Awesome. Yeah, as it's stepping forward, reaching out to you, it takes one step too far, and just before, like, no looking down or really anything, because it's not going to. It's pretty focused in on you. Just sort of takes the step, and this very creepy hand reaching out at you suddenly gets pulled down into the hole by gravity itself. Falls into the bottom of it, is just sort of looking up at you, reaching out, but it can't actually get anywhere. The person you are trailing right now, Nyx, is pretty close to making it up to everybody else. Do you want to do anything about that, or just sort of let it happen?
So my plan is for this individual to get close enough where I could sneak up behind him and if things get confrontational, I have a elvish longbow, so I'm assuming I have arrows. And to
Yeah.
just hold an arrow to their back and basically make them understand that they don't actually have control of the situation that I do.
Got it. Okay. So, yeah, we'll say you have that ready. If this dude gets confrontational at all, I'm willing to just let you immediately have an arrow at him.
Cool.
All right. Catches up to the rest of y'all. Just a bit before he does. Don't mind me losing my document. There we go. Just before he does, this thing that you've got trapped in a hole, still looking at you, Biggles, is going to use something called a blight power. Blight powers are sort of the Blight's version of gifts. They are more limited abilities that they usually have more of, which allow them to affect somebody else, usually a branch rider, in a unique and more threatening way than any other obstacle is usually capable of. Now, it is going to be using a little power known as Obsession with Trivia. This power affects one other target, and whenever a blight uses its power, anyone affected by it has to roll a specific roll as their defense roll against the blight power. So in this case, you don't really get too much opportunity to choose how you're defending yourself against a sort of normal attack. You would be able to. In this case, it chooses the ground you fight on. So, Biggles, as it is currently focused in on you, I'm going to need you to roll forceful plus communication. And then you're still got a situation die. Despite the sort of just natural creepiness of this thing and sort of obvious danger it poses, your sort of artist instinct can't help but be unsatisfied, to say the least, with the incomplete lines, the half missing face. It just doesn't look right. It's very uncanny valley, and every instinct in you wants to fix that. So yeah, go ahead and give me a roll.
So communication is my one skill that's unskilled. What do I do for that?
So, each branch rider has one skill that they start out without having a die in it at all. That means that you're still going to make your roll as normal, except you're not rolling a technique die. You just automatically lose the success from that die.
Wait, what? Oh, oops. Okay, I've got 2 successes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this
Yeah,
thing is trying
weirdly
to
enough.
pull you in. This thing's trying to pull you in. You're able to sort of, like, you're drawn in for a second, and, yeah, then you're able to snap yourself out of it. Do you have any sort of reaction to being drawn in by this thing?
I'm gonna like, just retract back, like, I hate this thing, and just like throw some paint at it. Like literally just kind of like shake my brush at it.
Splotch of
Stop
yellow
it.
just gets
Stop.
splashed
Yeah.
on this thing's face. It's like rubbing the paint out of its already like half working eyeball.
I don't like this thing. Somebody kill it.
And the man that has been following you all finally makes his way up, sort of peers into it. Ooh, nasty scribble you got there.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Oh, I know. It's coming straight from Iris Ward's stupid little academy. Always trying to get us out. You know, I've been so friendly to them. Skip Tudor, nice to meet you. Sort of puts his hand out, and then kind of looks again at how many of you there are, puts another hand out.
I'll shake his hand. Hello, Skip. My name's Biggles. Nice to
Nice
meet
to
you.
meet you. Nice to meet you. What about you two?
Yeah, I'll shake his hand. Marika,
Nice to
there's
meet you.
I'm doing everything I can to hide, the giant compound eyes and things.
Trying to remember, are moths like hot-blooded, cold-blooded? I can't remember.
I can find out if you really want to know, because you know
Let's-
that
we don't have to
obsession with
worry about
trivia thing. Yeah, that's just me in general. So thanks for that.
Shakes your hand. Moths have fluff, right? They've got some fuzz on them.
Yeah, they got like a downy.
Yeah. Ooh, nice gloves you got there, friend.
Thank you.
Sort of pulls his hand back, and looks over at Spectre. What's your name?
So I think Nathaniel is completely ignoring all this. He's put on, I think, spectrum goggles, and he's actually peering over the hole. He's just fascinated by the. He's like muttering to himself stuff like, "Oh my gosh, spontaneous matter generation and mobile paint. How does this? How does the physics work?" And I'm actually kind of just completely ignoring all the people talking and just kind of scanning this creature, despite the fact how dangerous and creepy it looks. I'm just trying to figure out how it works. Like, wow, how does this interact with the blight and physical reality, that kind of thing. So,
All right, Skip just kind of like waits for a second, then realizes you have absolutely no interest in him. The pleasure. Yeah, no, this is looks back into the hole. This is a nasty one. Um, Biggles, you do actually recognize the term scribble that Skip used a bit ago. Scribble is usually some sort of unfinished work that the frontier brings to life. They usually seek out completion. This is not a normal scribble. A normal scribble would just be, unfinished drawing, a sort of slightly off-tune melody in the wind, something like that. Not growing longer fingers and like chasing after people. Just sort of an annoyance that seeks out somebody to finish it. Not something so creepy, usually. But Skip still seems to think it's a scribble. Yeah, I've been dealing with a lot of these lately around the academy. Any idea where this one came from?
No idea. It just started chasing after me in particular. I didn't even do anything to it. I mean, I can finish it if that's what it wants.
I mean, if you're willing to, it looks downright terrifying, honestly.
Yeah, I don't want to touch it, to be fair.
That sounds like a wise decision.
So where'd you say they're coming from?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's just coming from Iris Ward. She's a famous artist around these parts. She's had it out for my academies ever since Art Co moved in here. You know, she's trying her best to keep hold of her students, but she needs to accept new ages rolling in. But she keeps sending these scribbles after me. Keeps denying it too. Some of them just get nastier and nastier. This is the worst one yet.
From where I was standing, it seemed you were following it. They?
It's, I'll be honest, I got no idea what the correct term for this sort of thing is. We'll say it for now. I hate the thought that this thing might have a soul.
So were you following it, or was it following you?
You know, I was making chase trying to get some proof of where it's coming from, you know. Felt a lot safer since there were more people to help take it on. You all look like you can sort of looks back over. I'm assuming most of you are sort of dressed in not really garb that matches this realm, aside from Biggles, who is from here, and Marika, who's I guess you already so I guess really it's just Nathaniel who might be out of place at the moment.
I was actually thinking because he's from Terminal,
Hmm.
but he's also an archivist and interested in historical. He might actually be dressed mildly appropriately. I was thinking like
Oh,
collared shirt, you know, vest, maybe a tie, kind of a little stuffy looking, but a little like, classic look because that's the stuff he studies. So I might actually
all
fit in.
right. Never mind then. Y'all are blending in pretty well. Um, it just kind of looks down back in the hole. Well, you look like you're able to handle yourselves clearly. Would you mind giving me a hand with this?
When,
Sure.
when you say a hand, and I look down at, you know, my air quotes gloved hand.
No, no, not a literal hand. No. What do you think I am?
Well, it's a, and then it's that tone of voice where it's clearly I'm trying to make it sound like the word is natural to me, but it's really not. A scribble that is strange. Maybe it needs. Look at it. It's got half a head. Maybe it needs the rest of a head.
I mean, I'm not gonna ask you to lobotomize yourself. That's just not worth it.
All right,
No,
how do
no.
we deal with it then?
No, I just need you to figure out where these things are coming from. Again, I'm pretty sure it's down by Iris Ward and her place. If you could just go prove it's her, maybe we can convince her to stop. These things are beginning to terrorize people. It's really unnecessary. If she's she's a character.
Have we?
Sure.
Sorry. Have we like acted as a unit before?
Um, Well, this is your first mission coming out of the academy in the Nexus. Usually they do train you in teams though, so it's not your first time working as a group. It is your first time being out in the field.
That's fine. Suffice it to say that the others would know that to Marika, convince involves brass knuckles.
I mean, Nyx is pretty much the same on that one too. So.
Brass knuckles and an arrow to the face.
So yeah, as Biggle said, sure.
Yeah, let's go meet this Iris.
Alrighty. Biggles, you do actually have a bit of background information on Miss Ward as a citizen of, or former citizen of the Borderlands. Uh, Iris is a part of the famous Ward family. Sort of these pioneers of modern art, or not really modern at this point, but the reason for the sort of golden age in the frontier that the Borderlands is seeing right now. They're all very talented creatives in their own ways, who have a great desire to really just teach, with the exception of one Iona, but we're not going to focus on them too much today. Uh, Iris herself is a painter. Um, she's a very sort of outwardly expressive person. She changes around her outfit, sort of matching her mood. Can be found out around town a lot of the time, but is also, if I remember correctly, yes, also owns this sort of very popular gallery that she is adding to very, very often. And also doubles as a place where she teaches students. The Ward family has this very big focus on sort of long-term learning. They try to inspire people to find their voice, which is sort of their own, basically a term for just their own sort of personal artistic expression, but also a sort of understanding of the frontier. As again, it can turn your creations to life, and art is also a means of survival in this place because of that. So, yeah, she'll likely be either somewhere around the town, with a very, very noticeable appearance and attitude, or she'll be at the gallery, where she teaches her students, kind of adds some more stuff to her displays, all of that. So one of those two places would probably be the best to start. Alternatively, since there are more scribbles about, y'all could hunt some scribbles and trace them back to where they came from.
Hmm.
Well, this is your beat, Biggles.
Yeah, I say, uh, I probably myself haven't been taught by her or have been to the academy. Biggles' thing is that she's very like, she's a hipster. She liked things before they were cool. She likes anything that is not popular or done by anybody else because she is just such a creative in that way. She likes to create her own reality. And so I definitely reject all that, even though like, that would kind of be the point of going to the academy is to, find your own voice. But in my mind, no, that's what everybody else does. So I'm not doing it. And so I'm self-taught. And so while I will go to the academy to go see her, I probably wouldn't recognize anybody there. So that's good. I don't want them to know about what I'm doing these days. So yeah, I say let's go there and see her gallery.
Alrighty. Are y'all willing to leave this sort of blighted scribble behind? It doesn't seem like it's going to be able to get out of the hole, honestly. It does keep trying to climb, but there does seem to be a limit to how far it can stretch the fingers on its hand.
Yeah,
Uh,
he can stay in the hole.
I was gonna say, it's like I lean in and look at Biggles. Do you want me to and I gesture suggestively to imply put it out of its misery?
Let it be miserable. It likes it. Look, he's having a great time. Yeah. That means I'm happy in scribble language.
Just give it some
Skip
enrichment.
just kind of looks at you. It does not.
So Nyx would probably pop out at this point from where she was hiding
Skip is just still looking the other way, has not seen you.
That's fine. I will come like right behind him and just let him know that I was there the whole time.
Ha!
And-
Oh! Howdy.
Hi. I'm gonna walk over. I'm gonna let no.
Puts his hand down. You with them?
Yeah. I awkwardly shakes his hand. Very awkward. Not.
You are quite sneaky.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
This thing needs to die. We
Oh.
need to end this. So
Are you
I will
Are you,
absolutely do it.
tossing an arrow at this thing?
Yep.
All right. Can you make me a roll? Let's say
Absolutely.
forceful fighting.
Okay. D8, and then still a D10, or is it more aware of us?
Weirdly enough, your exposure has not raised.
Okay. I got one success.
All right. Would you like to succeed with a cost or fail forward?
You know, I'm going to succeed with a cost.
Okay. You do shoot an arrow into this thing. It's sort of like its shoulder sort of lurches back, but then the arrow doesn't like stick. It starts seeping in, and it kind of like on its hand with the more normal fingers sort of goes back through, looking at it for a second, and then sort of grabs onto its arm with the longer fingered arm, and the arm morphs as it looks like at you, sort of analyzing, into a replicant of your bow.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
And another little finger comes out of the arm to sort of pull the bowstring back with the arrow.
Oh no.
It's just sort of looking at you holding the arrow like that.
You want this back?
I mean, it's gonna give it back to me, just not handing it. It's gonna come flying at me.
It is not firing.
Oh, good. Hasn't figured that one out yet.
However, I am going to need you to make a defense roll as it has used its distort power.
Oh, yeah.
To alter its appearance in a potentially off-putting or threatening way. Can
Okay.
you roll forceful art for me?
Forceful in art?
Yes.
Okay. That is a D8. I don't have art. That is the
Oh,
thing
wonderful.
I don't have. So this will be fun. Ooh, I got 2 successes on that one.
Okay. Yeah, no. This thing's freaky, but being from the Crags, you've seen a lot worse. That place is full of all kinds of eldritch horrors. So, I'm assuming not happy that this thing basically just stole your move, but other than that, you're doing fine.
Okay. I'm gonna keep going until it's not moving anymore and it's a puddle paint.
Okay. Just firing another arrow into it?
Trying to think creatively on this one because I don't want it to fire back on me. Let's see here. I don't have anything melee, but I have like tools. Is that something I might be able to use or
What
think
kind
creatively?
Oh, like the skill
The
tools?
skill tools.
Okay. The tool skill is mostly for like using equipment or like engineering
Gotcha.
stuff. So,
Okay.
I mean, you can always just punch it.
If we're
Oh,
gonna
I don't
use
know
Looney Tunes logic, don't we just drop an anvil on it?
I can paint one for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I mean, anvil's a tool too, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I believe
yeah,
you're
it
able
is.
to make simple tools for your self ability with your gift, right, Biggles?
Yep.
Want to
Oh,
make an
nice.
anvil?
Sure.
All right, go ahead and roll me your gift again. I'm good with creative for the approach here, or forceful.
Mm. 2 successes.
All right, yeah. You paint an anvil above this thing's head. It sort of like realizes what's happening, goes to fire the arrow, and then the anvil just drops, crushes the anvil, and you just see uh just little pit like lead just sort of scatter out in the bottom of the hole after the anvil lands. Uh, and yeah, the blight doesn't have anything really to latch onto down in this hole now, so it just sort of fades out into nothingness.
Oh, good.
All right. It's dead. We
Is
killed
my
it.
arrow gone?
Yeah, but I'm not really gonna keep you limited on how many arrows
Okay.
you've got, so don't worry about like ammo too much.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty. Um, yeah, so y'all headed to the gallery?
Yeah.
Nathaniel, you've been sort of analyzing this hole a bit. Do you want to make a roll, try and gather any information from the remains of this thing?
yeah, sure.
All right, yeah, I'm
Um,
cool with I'd be cool with knowledgeable for the approach. That makes sense for you.
yeah, that's
And
great. It's one of my better
then
ones.
skills wise, you've got your goggles on, so I'd let you use tools. Additionally, art or weird could work.
I think I'll go for weird,
Alrighty.
and the situational still D10.
Yes.
Only got one success.
Okay. Would you like to succeed at a cost or fail forward?
Um, let's see. I'm fine with succeed with the cost.
Okay. Uh, as you're sort of analyzing this thing, you do see the blight energy is gone. However, the lead is sort of like falling back on to the anvil and sort of building itself back together.
Interesting.
Uh,
Okay.
and as it finishes, what you see is a much smaller, basically the same thing y'all first saw, just sort of a drawing of a humanoid figure, like missing part of its face. Um, Still weird, much less creepy than like the long-armed, one-handed thing y'all ended up with, or long-fingered, one-armed thing it ended up being. Uh, you just sort of hear little like as it's sort of like trying to hop out of the hole.
Oh my goodness.
Is that? Did they do that? Do we?
Are you asking, or who are you asking?
The air. Just it's a like a just a general question. Do
Skip sort of like looks back down. Oh yeah, you can't really kill scribbles. Yeah, they sort of come back till they're done. Uh, it'll be fine. It'll make its way out. It's too small to hurt anybody.
What? Why? Well, I mean, probably good to figure out firsthand. So, yeah, okay, never mind. I was gonna yell at you for not saying something beforehand, but we're good.
Do you mind if I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Why do you carry a bow? I mean, there's plenty of good stores you could get yourself a good sidearm. Why carry a bow?
Have you seen the cool stuff that you can do with a bow?
I can't say I have.
Maybe you will.
it's an art in and of itself.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love. I mean, I'm starting up all these academies. If you think we can get something going for some archery, I would like you to make a defense roll.
Oh, all right.
Roll to reject offer.
Right.
Now, Skip is not a blight, so he can't force you to roll anything in particular, but
Okay.
he's basically just giving you an offer right now. He's sort of rattling off like uh all of the sort of like resources they have to get a like smaller academy started up, how he's like
Mm-hmm.
been able to draw people into all these different art forms, making sure that you know there'd be some money in it for you. He seems like he's got it all like ready to go for you if you're willing to just sign on with him.
Okay. Um, I would. I'm going to. Can I propose what I'm going to use for my approach and my skill?
Yes, he is not a
Okay.
blight, so he can't force you to roll anything.
Cool. I would like to do forceful and communication, but I am going to try to emphasize that I am not a teacher and I am not socially acceptable in situations where I have to teach somebody and be in a
Got it.
leadership position.
Got it.
And then do I still roll that D10 too?
Correct.
Okay, cool. I got nothing.
All
So
right.
do I come off as better at communicating?
You come off as someone who is basically just like trying to come up with excuses for why they don't want to do this.
That's fine. This is exactly what I'm doing anyway.
Uh, However, as you're like trying to explain yourself, he's like, "Oh, well, everybody thinks they're going to be bad at teaching when they start out, but like as long as you're good at the skill, you're able to get into it. You know how these things work, right? You fire. I mean, I've seen your shots; they look great. You see, I think you'd be very good fit for the here's my business card." He hands you it.
Fine. Here, she takes the business card and like
I'm gonna be
just like
checking in on you later once we dealt with the scribble situation. I think I can get you to sign on.
what
And
is
Skip
this?
is now determined to get your assistance getting this new art form started in the Borderlands. He's gonna be popping in and pestering you every once in a while now. All right,
Awesome.
so with that, you'll move on to the gallery. Skip has got to get back to running his academies, so he's headed out for now. He's gonna check in on you all later. And give Nyx here some time to think about his offer. Is there anything y'all want to do headed on the way there? The Borderlands is pretty much full of I mean, it is the Old West, so it's not like an amusement park or anything, but there's plenty of things to do here. There's plenty of places where you could look for some extra information on the scribbles. There's saloons. There's, again, people kind of out on any street corner, like doing their art, chiseling statues, performing like slam poetry, all sorts of stuff. So if y'all want to get some extra information on the way, you can. Otherwise, y'all can feel free to head straight to the gallery. Or if you got any other ideas.
I try to get how to phrase this, like a vibe check on how people feel about, is it Iris Ward?
Yeah. All right. Can you roll me? I'd be good with observant culture. Again, if you want to argue for some other skills, you absolutely or approaches, you absolutely can.
No, that works for me. I'm not actively like forcing strong arming anyone into it.
Alrighty.
One success.
Okay. Succeed at a cost or fail forward.
Succeed at a cost, please.
All right. As you kind of go around, you get the idea that pretty much everyone in the Ward family is like very well respected by most of the community. There is a lot of like suspicion on if they can actually keep up with this sort of new age some people seem to believe Artco and Skip Tutor are bringing in. You do learn that there is also a bit of a rift driven between the family. There's quite a few members of the Ward family. I believe there's 4 if memory serves me. I might be wrong on that. And that they've not been on the greatest of terms recently. You don't really learn why. So there is some sort of negative opinions you get from students of the other Ward family members. Other than that, most people seem to like Iris, even ArtCo students. However, the Ward family is quite popular around here, and they're everyone that like you ask is very confused as to how you don't know these people. Your exposure is going to raise by a level.
Oh no, now I have to see if my tracker thing works properly. Nope, I have the wrong one. Sorry.
Oh.
It's the wrong thing was selected in OBS. The background layer was moving. So it's sorted. Okay. So I'll return to the the group as we make our way to the gallery. Well, they're hiding something. No one likes a family that much. But them having their fingers in all of the pies.
Yeah, I figured as much.
You arrive at the gallery. It's situated at sort of the edge of the town, the edge of the wilds of the frontier, where the frontier's like sort of mystical powers to create things out of people's art and ideas and such becomes more and more wild and uncontrollable. The gallery is big-ish. I mean, it's not small by any means, but it very much looks like something that was built just by people who had only so much time and so many resources. That said, they use those resources very well. Even the building itself looks like an art piece. It's sort of this very wide mix of colors. There's yellows, purples, blues everywhere. Each like window for the gallery is like stained glass of different different images, sunsets, sort of wild trees. There's one that's just kind of a psychedelic, it looks like a psychedelic trip. And you even notice an eye in it sort of blink at you as you're walking in. You walk in and it's quite bustling. There's a lot of people painting, drawing. There's like models, both objects and people sort of up on pedestals with a bunch of students around them, again, drawing, painting. And you see someone in sort of like yellow suspenders. She's got this sort of like muddy orange brown hat on, and she's got this sort of like almost bandolier across her, but instead of like bullets or anything, it's different like paint cartridges. And you do notice that she does actually have like a 6-sighter or a 6-shooter, like in her holster. It's in a smaller part of the holster than this like whole array of paint brushes she's got in the main slot, but it's still there. She turns around and sort of greets you all in. Hello, it's nice to meet you. Are you here to sit in for class?
No. We're here. We're looking for Iris.
Well, you have found her. That's me. I'm Iris Ward. I've only got so much time to talk, but
That's okay. We'll
what
be
do you need?
quick. We're not gonna say where we got our sources or anything. You know, don't wanna expose anybody. But
You're here about the scribbles.
we're here about the scribbles. Yeah.
Tutor,
What can you tell us
Skip,
about them?
Tutor sent you, right?
He pointed us in this direction. We weren't sent by him per se. We're not working for him or anything. He just thought that you might have some information about
Yeah.
them and why they've all decided to go crazy all of a sudden and come after me with their scratchy claws and try to rip my face off. That wasn't
Tried
very
to
nice.
what?
Yeah, they tried to scratch me with their scratchy hands and stuff. I had to make them fall into a hole.
A
They're really
scribble
vicious.
tried to scratch your face off?
It was a
Yes.
very nasty scribble.
Sounds like it. Look, I don't know why he keeps spreading this rumor, but I don't have time to be going out into the frontier wilds and drawing scribbles to send after Skip Tudor and his upstart academies. Well, not so upstart anymore, but look, I don't know where they're coming from. Look, scribbles just happen sometimes. This isn't the first outbreak. I do not have the time or the energy to be sending such things after him. You're free to look around. If you find some scribbles coming from this gallery, please let me know. I'm sure it's just one of my students who has gotten out of hand.
Do you think that
Other than that, I don't know that I can help you. Skip keeps on sending groups like you off after this gallery to investigate, and they have yet to find anything.
yeah, so he just has some personal problems with you because of he's trying to upstart his own academies and you're just enemy
Look,
number one to take the blame?
Skip has a obsession with getting his he has an obsession with artists getting their creation done quickly and done with, you know, proper technique, but there's no heart behind it. He's focused on getting people what he thinks they want out quickly and making artists money. That's really all Tudor is concerned with. And so us of the Ward family, myself included, yeah, like you said, we're enemy number one. I mean, I've had some very nice conversations with Skip. He doesn't hold any ill will towards me, but I am his competition.
Got it.
He was actually a former student, not of mine, but of one of my siblings who holds our sort of comedic academy.
That makes sense. Uh
He wasn't very funny.
He never was.
yeah, he wasn't exactly the top of his class, I assume.
I mean, he's got a lot of energy behind him, but he was never too great with jokes.
Um, do you, I assume that since he's been sending people your way just to, try to figure this all out and stuff, but how long has that been going on, by the way?
A week, maybe two. It's quite recent.
Okay. Did you manage to find anything out? Just like, you know, following the trail of.
I haven't had much time to put into it, honestly. I mean, I'm out and about, and I've seen some of the scribbles around. I try to take care of them when I can, but I mean, honestly, if they're coming from anywhere, it seems more like it's coming from ArtCo itself.
Um, who would we contact or meet or talk to if we wanted to go that route of asking if they know anything about it?
I mean, their doors are open. You could walk into the academy, take a look around. There's plenty of students there who could be making scribbles. That's even if it is coming from there. I mean, that's just my best guess.
And you said you seemed quite surprised when I told you about the particularly spoopy scribble.
Yes, scribbles don't tend to be violent. That's not exactly their goal. Scribbles just want to be finished. I mean, you give them enough lines, give them some paint, make them look pretty, and they're good to go.
Based
Yeah,
on
this one wasn't susceptible to that kind of stuff.
like body language
Concerning.
and tone of voice and stuff, is she being? Do I think she's being honest with us?
Would you like to make me roll to check?
I would very much like to, yes, please.
All right, if you could roll me observant and integrity.
I was hoping for communication by focusing on body language and stuff.
Communication works. I'm good with that.
And now it's a D8 for the exposure.
Yes.
That is 3 successes.
Ooh, okay. She does seem eager to push the blame back on Skip just so that she doesn't have to deal with this anymore. But she isn't lying. She doesn't know what's going on. Scribbles are very they're not like abundant like they are right now usually, but they're not unheard of. She's dealt with plenty of them, and if she were responsible for creating some even by accident, she'd be willing to take responsibility. She's she's very familiar with the frontier. She knows that lying about who made a scribble isn't really going to get her anywhere.
So I guess uh, I'd like a natural break in the conversation.
Hmm.
So it seems like you don't know where they're coming from.
No, I mean
Skip.
they could be coming from here. One of my students might be at the touch of the frontier's whims at the moment, but
Skip claims to not know where they're coming from, and that they are in fact worsening his academy. Though based on what you said and the general feeling of things, I don't think he needs any help with that in that regard. Anything, can speed that up. Does anyone stand to profit from both of you being out of, not business per se, but action?
well, scribbles aren't exactly easy to create on purpose, but I mean, I suppose some of my family might be trying to cause some issues. I don't know why they would.
Sometimes it just being family is enough.
Yeah. Honestly, your best bet is to just follow the scribbles, see where they lead. That's my advice.
I nod and kind of look around, observing the art. And I assume because this is an academy that the students here are very passionate about what they're doing.
Very. Some of them are seem frustrated, such as the process of learning, but yeah, they all seem quite passionate about what they're doing. Iris is kind of studying you a bit more closely. Are you wearing a costume under there?
I was involved in quite a horrific accident involving
Oh,
metal engraving acids. It helps me feel comfortable and fit in with people.
would you? I'm assuming that's not true.
That's not.
So could you roll me social subtlety?
8, 10, and 8 for the exposure tracker. That is 2 successes.
Okay. She buys it. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Oh, I we do what we must to continue with our passions.
Yes. Well, good luck. I've got to get back to teaching.
Thanks for your
Unless
help.
there's anything else. Of course, of course. You seem like an artist yourself. Are you sure you wouldn't like to sit in?
Actually, yeah, I'd like to you know, join in and have a chat with some students, if that's okay.
Yes, of course. She sort of guides you over to one of the groups. What about the rest of y'all? Where are you headed?
We were given permission to poke around, so I'm just going to go and poke around.
Yep,
All right.
same.
All right. Yeah, would you all be willing to give me a roll for just sort of poking around? What's the nature of how each of you is doing this? We'll start with Marika.
Very much relying on force of personality to do that kind of like, hey, I'm your best friend, tell me the social vibes, kind of poking around. Not so good at casing the joint, but better at just talking to people and getting what I want out of them socially rather than
All right.
things of that nature.
In that case, approach forceful, social, skill, communication, culture. I'm good with any of those. Next, how about you?
Can you remind me what weird does?
Weird is basically kind of more of the like abstract or unnatural parts of worlds as well as study of the blight itself. It we do also somewhat use like if we have a role that if we have no idea what approach and skill to use for it, usually that'll go into like creative weird.
Okay.
So that's kind of the area weird goes into. For example, even like things like study of the frontier, like abstract art and such would fall into weird, or even use of the frontier.
Okay. Um, that's good to know. So Nyx has no clue about art or anything like that. So like talking to art students is just gonna make them kind of their eyes glaze over. And so what they'd like to do is to kind of look around and see if there's anything that's catching their attention for blight, or anything that might seem out of place for this setting. Like expecting that there is going to be weird stuff, but she's looking for weird stuff.
Okay. Yeah, roll me observant weird.
Cool.
Biggles, how about you?
I kind of want to look around and like feel the vibes of the people for somebody that seems not like, I don't want to say like brainwashed or drinking the Kool-Aid of the wards, but like, someone who's a little bit different who might tell me something else other than just like, oh yeah, the wards are great and it's a great place and it's awesome. Somebody who might be like, oh yeah, there's that weird guy over there who draws scribbles. Somebody
Uh,
that's a little out of the ordinary that might give me a little bit more information than we've gotten already.
all right, you want to give me observant culture, observant communication? And then Spectre, how about you?
Since I did a scan of the light infested scribble, I'm wondering if I can adjust my spectrum goggles to like match the vibrational wavelengths to see if I can make a scribble detector.
Absolutely, observant tools. And go ahead and upgrade one of your dice there for that.
I love that so much.
Yeah, no, I'm that's probably my favorite use of that item so far. Alrighty. So yeah, all y'all go ahead and give me your rolls.
My social vibes particularly kind of aiming towards like if they're aware of any students who might have a grudge against the wards or tutor or just is possessed by the spirit of the frontier. That was 2 successes.
All right. So, Marika, as you're sort of searching around, there's students that are frustrated, angry, some that don't have the best view of Skip, some that are getting tired of Iris's sort of long-term teaching. No one to you who really seems like they would have enough reason to try and do something like this, or who can think of anybody who would try to do something like this, intentionally at least. Nyx, how about you?
So I got 2 successes.
All right, and since yours and Nathaniel's rolls are in similar vein, I'm going to go ahead and ask what you got, Spectre.
I got 2.
All right, y'all both got 2. All right, so yeah, as you're searching around, there's not a ton that looks out of the ordinary for the Borderlands. However, you do both catch the faintest trait of blight on one of the students here. Biggles, what was your success roll? Or what did you roll?
2 successes. And I was probably pretty much doing the same thing as Marika.
All right. Yeah, you actually notice the same student has like an Artco like pin on their vest.
We should ask this guy out for a pint at the saloon. Get them out of the.
Y'all want to do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Unless y'all have anything particular y'all want to do here, I'm just gonna skip us over to that.
I'm good.
No, I'm good.
Alrighty. So, skipping forward, y'all are in a saloon talking to Scraps. He was pretty happy to get at least a short break. But he informs you pretty quickly, I've only got so much time to sit. I do appreciate you buying me a drink, but I've got a job at Arco I gotta get to pretty soon. Yeah, you wanting to talk about something? I noticed you poking around.
Oh, let's go to town and something tried to scratch my friend's face off, and I gesture at Biggles. We just took it a little personally, trying to get to the bottom of it. And everyone's pointing us in every direction, and the only direction we haven't yet looked is Artco.
Yeah, that tends to happen a lot here. Yeah, no, I've got a friend. Her and I weren't really sure who to trust as far as like which academy to study at. We're from back in the city, so we've been kind of trying to get the best of both worlds. I've been studying under Iris. They've been studying under Skip Tutor, or not really under Skip Tutor himself, but at Artco. And just sort of trading teachings. It's been working out okay so far. She's I'm a little worried about her though. I think if you're looking for something happening from Artco, someone with some ill will towards both, hate to say it, she might be a good place to start. She's getting pretty tired of the sort of repetition Artco tends to put its students through. Kind of losing her passion a bit. She says she's fine, but I don't know. I'm not really buying it.
No,
Your friend?
Yeah.
No chance for personal expression.
What'd you say?
No chance for personal expression.
I'm gonna usually clarify what you mean by that. My mind is short circuited.
The friend is having to do the same boring, monotonous art over and over again, rather than being able to do their own thing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. at the same time, they've said some things that make me wonder if they really care about expressing themselves anymore, or if that's kind of been dragged out of them.
Hmm.
She's got a dorm room. I mean, I can show you her way on my way to work if you want me to.
That would be
Sure.
fantastic. Thank you.
What is your what do you do at Arco? What's your job?
Oh, I'm a garbage man. I take the trash and take it over to Forgotten Gorge, where I dump stuff out and keep anything that there's enough left over to use. I like to make abstract art out of the trash I find.
And
Very cool.
how many jokes at the expense of your name has Skip made?
Quite a few.
He seems
I'm
like
sure
that
they were
person.
very funny. So what's the vibe at Arco? You take classes there too? You take classes at all three
No,
academies, or
no, I just take my classes at the gallery, and then I learn stuff from Palais. That's my friend's name. Uh, it's I mean it's nice. It's clean. It's well made. Uh, I don't.
Those
I
are
mean, I
those
don't
are
want I don't
all
want to badmouth them.
yeah. Those are positive adjectives people use when they're trying to avoid something.
come on, what's the
It's
vibe? Come on.
it's just it's a it's a lot of form with no function. It's a lot of learning how to do things without learning why, without putting heart into it, you know? That's my problem with it at least. They're very quick. I mean, I don't know if you've heard what ArtCo actually stands for. It's Academy for Rapid Training and Creative Output. It's very it's very good at the rapid training and output. Creative part I'm not so sure about.
Mm.
So they're training an army rather than an individual?
I mean, I wouldn't call them an army. I mean, go you're free to go wherever you want once you're done, but it's kind of teaching everybody the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you train a whole army that way. And then
I'll be
then
on
you can
I
predict what they're gonna do.
I'll be honest, I don't know that much about armies.
It's a whole other art form.
This could probably get you to teach it.
Oh
He's tried.
yeah, he's tried. GM, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Individuals who are infected with blight,
Mm-hmm.
is there a way to remove that blight from them other than killing them?
It is actually the preferred method to remove it without harming them.
Okay.
Sometimes you do have to beat the blight out of somebody, but a lot of the time, you are able to still reach someone like emotionally or mentally. You can also try to use some sort of like technology or magic to draw the blight out of somebody.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of methods, and you tend to need to figure out what to do case by case.
Okay.
Because sometimes you've got somebody who's furious and is just looking for a fight. Other times you've got someone who's just depressed, and I'm hoping you know that the best solution to help a depressed person is not to beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, like because he's doesn't seem like the source of blight or like incredibly like he just seems like he's been around
No,
it, correct?
he has been in the presence of blight, is what you're
Okay.
catching here.
Okay, yeah, and I wouldn't react negatively to someone like that. That's a unfortunate circumstance,
Mhm.
not a clear and present danger. Um, okay. I need to sit and think for a little bit on that. So, hold on.
Well, we
What's
have an in, right? Because
what's all of
Skip
your
really
leg in
wants.
this? Go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, well, we have an in, right? Because Skip really wants Nyx to join Artco. That could be our premise to show up, right? Not to put Nix on the spot or anything.
I mean, we could. I am not again, I am not good with the talkie,
It's even better.
but I mean, we could absolutely do that. Yeah, let's check out the dorm room and see if we can figure out stuff and then go from there.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's talk to the friend. Palais?
Palais. So Scraps takes y'all over to one of the art co-academies, specifically the one for like painters and like sketch artists, stuff like that. Very big, like corporation style building. Uh, there's a big like brightly colored sign on the outside with like the I'm forgetting the word I used just a second ago, but the thing of Academy for Rapid Training and Creative Output, like under the name, takes y'all through clean halls. Kind of looks more like a sort of modern college you would see in our world. And as you're being taken through, Scraps sort of starts leading you over to the dorm area. Nix! Oh, I knew you'd take me up. You hear Skip Tutor walking up behind y'all.
Oh, jeez.
Come
Hey,
to check out
Skip.
the place, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm mighty glad to have you here. Give me a chance to here. Let me show you around the place. Just grabs you and starts taking you off in a completely different direction.
Oh, okay. I am going to first I'm gonna talk up our companion here a little bit.
Scraps.
Yeah, try to, because having somebody that is depressed or like not confident in themselves is definitely not good. So trying to give them a boost of confidence and help them out to be a little bit more sure about themselves.
Alrighty. How would you like to go about doing that?
I am going to try to do because this is now a battlefield for Nyx. She's gonna try to do a uh basically like a rally cry of, hey, you are more than just a garbage collector, and you absolutely uh deserve everything that you have worked hard for, and you deserve to create the beautiful things that you want to put out in the world.
All right. Can you roll me social communication?
Sure, I have those. They're my lowest, but I have them.
I mean, if you think there's something else here you could use, feel free to ask.
No, this is totally on brand for Nyx. I'm gonna go with it.
Love it. All right.
I got 2 4s.
Okay. Um, I mean that's 2 successes. You screwed
I will
it
take
by.
that.
Did you roll the situation die, by the way?
I did, yes.
Okay.
That one actually gave me the 1. So
Really?
Yeah.
The D4s are pulling their weight here.
They are.
All right. So, Scraps is a little confused as to why you're just saying this to him, like at first, but then as you're going through, he kind of like gets a bit more of a serious look on his face. He's like, "Thank you. I think I needed to hear that today."
Good. And then I will prepare myself for Skip.
All right. The rest of the three of y'all kind of see Scraps like kind of have like a bit of confused, sort of like contemplating look, and then he just kind of like shrugs. Um, Do any of y'all want to go with Nyx?
I'll do it. I'm the one who suggested it. I feel kind of bad now, so I'm tagging
Mhm.
along. I'm tagging along.
All right. And then are Biggles and Marika sticking with Scraps to go meet Pale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and follow Spectre and Marika first. Or not Spectre, sorry. Biggles and Marika first. Um, y'all finish walking over to the dorms. Scrap sort of like knocks on the door. Hey, Ballet! Ballet opens up the door. You see someone in like a paint stained apron with like long fringe sleeves. Her hair is kind of like tied up in a ponytail. It's brown with like faded bits of blues and pinks, where it looks like dye has been washed out. You see she's got like a lot of different like sketchbooks around her room, including one in like the pocket of a pocket on her apron. And she's got a holster with a paintbrush in it. It has an engraved handle resembling like leaves growing off of tendrils. Um, she's got this sort of like blank look in her eyes. Immediately, the two of you can feel blight coming off of this woman. Hey,
Mm.
Scraps.
Not to be indelicate, but are you sleeping enough? Because you look like I felt after a night on the town. And then I just climb up.
Who are you?
Oh, sorry. Yes, of course. I extend one quote gloved hand. Marika, just taking
She
in.
just kind of waves at you.
I
Does not shake the hand.
I play it off. Wave back. Yeah, just taking a look around and taking in the sights, looking at the art available, the tutelage available, and ran into Scraps, and thought we'd check out art code, see if it fits with my vibe.
Scraps kind of like pipes in a bit. Yeah, just taking him here to show them Art Co's top student. Palais just kind of like frowns slightly at that. Oh, you can look around. She kind of goes back, sits down. You see she's got this like big canvas that she's like working on something in, and she sort of like pushes it a bit to the side, and she's got this tiny little like like notebook that she's like doodling in, and just
Mm.
kind of glances back over at the canvas every once in a while. Scraps sort of like leans in, whispers to the two of you. Yeah, this is what I've been talking about.
This is I don't I don't know what the word for it here is, but where I'm from, burnout. It's doing too much, too many, focusing on too many things. She's lost that bit of herself that makes her want to continue to be creative.
Are you saying this out loud, or are you just whispering?
I'm
this
whispering
back?
it back to Scraps.
Okay. Yeah, he kind of like gives you a bit of a nod. That's kind of what I've been thinking.
Hmm. Uh, I mean, she seems like a woman after my own heart. I get it, you know? Like, this is exactly why I dropped out of the academy life. Like, so,
She kind of like turns around to you in her chair. You used to be a student?
uh, I mean, for about a half a semester, um, maybe
Where
even
were
like
you
2 weeks
learning?
or something. I mean, I tried both places. I tried to take one class one place and one class another place. I hated it. It sucked. And I realized the best way to be creative is to listen to your own heart, you know? You don't have to be taught by anybody. I mean, it works for some people, but for others, you just kind of do your own thing. And you totally can do that. And you know, once you realize that, it makes things a lot better.
Yeah, well, you might want to reconsider. I do learn a lot here. She turns back, and this time starts like painting on the canvas again.
What is on the canvas? What does it look? What's she working on?
Um, it's like a still life. She seems to be doing it off of memory. Uh, you're not quite sure how that is supposed to work, but it's kind of just of like it's just kind of like this looks like a forest, which you haven't seen a forest here, but things happen in the frontier. Sometimes you're wandering in the wilds and you walk straight into a forest. It can happen. Uh, you notice there's like some very colorful like birds and plants, and you see this sort of like giant like fly trap in there. It's colorful, but it's still very like it's just like one of each color. There's not like multiple shades or really or anything.
Kind of like hotel artwork.
Yeah, very much so.
Hmm.
Is it what you want to learn, though? I mean, I learned how to patch up bullet holes, but it's not bullet wounds, but it's not what I wanted to learn. It wasn't fulfilling.
Sounds useful.
Is this useful?
Makes money.
You got me there. Just turn, look at Pickles like, help! The ultimate argument, money!
What? Wait, so you're only here to learn how to make stuff that makes you money?
No, kind of didn't used to be, but what can you do?
I mean, I get it. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, but you still have to learn how to make art for yourself, you know, for your spirit, you know, for your soul, you know. Is this what you're working on here? Is this a class assignment
Yeah, this is class assignment.
from Artco?
Why are you so concerned? She like turns back.
Honestly, I mean, you do you do your own thing. I'm not trying to like be your therapist or anything like that, or your art director or anything. Honestly, we were just led to you because
She kind of, as you're talking, like grabs the sketchbook back, just starts like writing or doodling it. You can't tell which. As she's just looking at you.
tell me, have you ever sketched a scribble by accident?
Sorry?
Scribbles, you know.
Have I sketched a scribble?
Yeah, have you ever scribbled a scribble?
Did Skip send you here to talk to me about this?
No. No, fuck
Did
that guy.
Iris?
No. Honestly, we were sent here by your buddy Scraps over here just because
She like gives him a glare and he's just like she looks back at you.
I mean, I get it that like everybody's throwing blame every which way for these stupid scribbles. So I'm sorry if I, you know, gave off the impression that I was trying to accuse you of anything
That is
like
the
that.
impression you gave off, yes.
I'm sorry, but honestly, what I really wanted to talk to you about was your unrest with the current standings of things between the art academies butting heads and trying to
I
throw
don't
blame at each other.
care.
It's bullshit, right?
I don't care.
Scraps, why did you even bring us here then? She's getting us nothing.
You asked.
I was just looking at the class assignment, which I presume when she was doing that was very mechanical, methodical strokes, and the doodle, which she appears to be doing absolutely unconsciously.
Mm.
So I just pointed look at the the assignment. I can tell you don't care because that nodded my head, big hat, broom flopping.
Mhm.
You had to force yourself to do. I've seen Biggles just make incredible works of art during idle conversation, whereas you had to turn your back to us and focus on that. But talking, sketching seems to be your passion, not. Is that a forest? It looks like a forest in that it has trees, but it has no.
It's a forest.
It. I'll be completely honest. If it weren't for the trees, I wouldn't see it. It doesn't scream
Neither
forest to
would
me.
I.
And if you're being taught to make stuff like that, well, no, I'm at Skip. I question the quality of tutelage here. I'm being completely honest. Seems very much a make it fast, make it cheap, don't make it good kind of person.
You want to survive?
There are other ways to survive. This is existing. Art
Maybe.
is it's beautiful. It's something I can't do, and I wish I could. But you're squandering it because you're accepting second best.
Would either of you like to make me a roll?
I'm happy to if Biggles doesn't want to.
What kind? What? Yeah, sure. What are we doing?
I'm just using this roll for the overall conversation y'all have had with her so far, like how much she's getting convinced.
Yeah.
So, probably social or communication is in there. Approach wise, I'd be good with observant. Skill wise, I'd also be good with integrity. So, social, observant, integrity, communication. If there's any others y'all can think of, feel free.
From an above table perspective, that puts me at 2d8s with social and communication.
All right, and then you got another D8 from situation die.
I got nothing. I'm really bad at this.
Oh no, don't put your hopes on me. 2 successes.
Okay. She kind of after hearing all of that, sort of just like unholsters her paintbrush a little bit, just sort of examines it. I do miss caring.
Caring is great.
Biggles can teach you to care.
I mean,
You
once I
can
kind
kind
of
of see some
stopped
light coming
caring.
back to her eyes. Blights work off of energy, which is basically just basic health. Y'all have ticked 1 energy off of the blight in Palais out of you do not know how
At least 2.
many. And then I'm going to need both of you to make a defense roll. Let me get over here because apparently I forgot to put this one in. So I'm going to need a second to find the one that I'm looking for. There we go. If you could both roll me social plus integrity as you feel this wave of apathy trying to wash over you.
You do the situation as well.
Yes.
Oh, 3 successes.
I think that's
Oh,
one
nice.
success, but I can't. Yeah, that's one success. Sorry,
Okay.
the die is awkward to read.
Alrighty. So, Marika, you are going to be inflicted with a condition. Condition is the form of damage that player characters take in this game. Now, usually we'd have physical like condition cards to use. We're playing virtually this time, so we don't quite have access to that. Do you have a place where you can write down isolated?
Yeah, I have a notepad document open.
Alrighty.
Actually, I have the
So,
character sheet open in a Word doc. I can just write on the character sheet.
So there are 6 different types of conditions, that being gripped, hurt, weakened, hesitant, provoked, and the one you were just inflicted with, isolated. And they all have 2 forms, a basic form and an advanced form. Isolated is the basic form of its condition. The advanced form is alienated. Whenever you have a basic condition, it reduces your situation die down to a D4 for certain situations. So, for example, isolated is, if I can, sorry, I thought I had this pulled up here. There we go. Isolated is a D4 situation die when giving or receiving help. Again, you feel kind of apathetic. You're starting to feel like this is just pointless. You are not completely taken over by it, but it's beginning to affect you. Biggles, on the other hand, you feel this wave washing over and you just can't have it. Do you want to tell me what kind of thought or emotion sort of helps you resist this?
Yeah, I mean, like, I've had these exact same thoughts at some point, like the exact reason why I left the academy like so long ago. Thinking about like the difference between like creativity and production and, you know, what to do to survive versus what to do to like flex your soul muscles and feel free. And she almost got me there. She had me thinking like the same way. See, she almost like maybe have that mental drama all over again. And I was like, no, like I already came to the conclusion that I do this for me. And the whole reason why I paint anvils to squish things is because that's what makes me happy and that's what makes me feel good. And I don't need to think
Give you
about
an
whether anybody wants me.
give you an existential crisis once, shame on them. Give it to you twice, shame on you.
Exactly. Now, this is
All
not happening. I'm not gonna let you drag me into that again. So no.
All right.
So I'm gonna, you know, grab a piece of scrap paper I see from like some piles of something, and I'm gonna draw like a cactus that looks like a banana and show it to her and be like, art! And then just throw it over my shoulder. Now I feel better.
I mean, I've not completely given up. I mean, I've got my sketchbooks. That's enough, right?
Do you finish anything in your sketchbook? Or do you just turn a page? Start again every day.
She sort of like looks back at the notebook. You can see her flip through like probably 100 pages before she gets to a blank one. Sort of closes it back. So what? Just quit? Can't do that.
You don't have to. Honestly, you can keep doing what you're doing as long as you hold on to your integrity, to yourself. You can just, you know, get straight A's, hand in this painting of a forest that's all done in the same kind of hues and get a good grade, but then come back home every day and sketch something super special duper awesome in your notebook and feel great about it, you can do that. Just as long as you hold on to your own sense of art. I'm not trying to convince you to do anything except for be true to yourself in one way or another. And yeah, sure, do what you gotta do to survive. Unless it makes you want to kill yourself. And in that case, then don't.
Yeah, you should probably
We're gonna
talk to Scraps.
give that a second tick. She kind of looks back at the notebook again, and then she like focuses in really heavily on what she was just doodling. Ugh. Tears a page out, crumples it up, throws it in a trash bin next to her. You notice that it's like half full with just pieces of like paper crumpled up like that. Sort of sets it back down. Honestly, I'm having trouble even enjoying that anymore. Scraps kind of like takes notice of the trash bin, is like, oh right. It seems like he was also affected by the apathetic wave from a bit ago. I should probably take that. He walks over and just, like it grabs the bag. It's like he's like have a good day, Pally. Just walks off. We're gonna head over to Nix and Nathaniel. Skip is taking you through the school, showing you every classroom. And he finally takes you to one. He's like, all right, now this one isn't being room. It's a bit being used. It's a bit smaller, but that just means it's more homey. So we can take you into here. He like basically shoves you into this room like lightly. He's like, now I've got some friends working on some bows for us to teach people with, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, how long do you think your classes would need to be?
What is your vision for this school?
What do you mean?
What is your overall vision? Where do you want the school to head?
I mean, I'm hoping we can get to a point where we've got thousands, hopefully, students, passing through, learning how to do whatever kind of art they're interested in. We got this is like our school for like, or like sketch artists or painters, so on and so forth. But we got schools out for we got comedic schools. We got schools teaching people how to write stories, and poems, and all
So
sorts of
are
stuff. So I'm hoping we can get a lot of people passing through, learning how to do this stuff, get more artists out into the world.
so are you training an army?
Army. Look, I'm not looking for a fight, if that's what you mean.
No, I'm an artist army. Are you trying to turn out as many artists as you possibly can?
I mean, yeah, more artists, more art, more people getting art.
But why?
Well, I mean, why not? It's a fresh market. There's a bunch of people who want to learn. I'm here to teach them.
But they're coming here to learn art,
Yeah, and that's what we
right?
teach them.
What aspects of art?
I mean, look, that's not really my part. I made this corporation, and I'm doing my
So
best to keep
you're
it running, get new departments running. That you need to ask the teachers.
so you're a businessman?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about art?
I mean, I went to one of the Ward schools for a bit, learn some stuff about comedy. I don't know if you noticed.
So I know absolutely nothing about art. But I've seen this
I
school
know
before.
you keep saying that, but I think like you seem really good at this archery thing. I think we can get you teaching.
That's the thing, is that I've seen this school before. It's called training an army. You
Okay.
train everybody in the same technique because you can do it as a group. However, once they go through and they go off on their own, they can't function.
There's
They
like
can't
some
think on their
students
own.
passing eye, and tutors' eyes are kind of like darting over to them uh as you keep talking.
Yep.
Look, if you're not interested in how we do things here, then I don't see any reason we should continue this conversation.
I am more concerned about your approach to things than
Well,
my
It's been
interest in
working
working
for
here.
our students, so
Has it?
yes. We've got many
I'm gonna
people
go
here
and ask them. I'm gonna walk right over to the nearest student.
All right. What are you saying once you get there?
What's your name?
Uh, 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 who are you?
I'm Nyx. Hi, nice to meet you.
Uh, I'm Civ.
Civ?
Yeah.
Ooh, nice to meet you, Civ. I put my hand out awkwardly, like,
Nice to meet you.
so
What's
why are you here?
going on? Oh, well, I'm learning to be an animator.
Ooh, an animator. So what's your favorite class?
Animation class? I mean, that's the class I'm in.
Is that the one class you're in?
I mean, I do some other stuff, but yeah, that's what I'm here to learn. That's the main class I'm in.
Okay. What's your non-animation class that's your favorite?
I mean, it's hard to think about.
What's one thing that you've created that you are incredibly proud of that isn't the same as other students?
Tutor like grabs you, kind of pulls you away. He's like, okay, that's enough of that. I can't have you slandering my school.
Remove
to
your
my students."
hands from me now.
Kind of looks back at the bow. He's like, sorry. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave
Why
because you're harassing my students.
am I?
Leave.
Listen, you aren't training artists. If a student cannot tell me what they're most proud of in their classes, you are doing nothing more than breaking them, not creating them.
Spectre.
Actually, are the students, have we kind of caused a crowd? Are students kind of like listening in on this, or?
There's a few.
Okay.
However, actually, no. Go ahead for a moment.
Well, okay. I'm hoping there are students that are like hearing and hopefully being interested in this conversation.
There's
so
a
I
few
guess
that are at least curious.
Yeah. So I think what I'm going to say is that I'm going to shout out loud. Mr. Skip has something to say to the students of this class. Bring students here. He has something important to say about what this academy stands for, and hopefully try to get more of an audience.
Okay. Can you roll me? I'd be good with like creative communication or social culture.
Yeah, creative communication,
Alrighty.
and it's D8 exposure. Two successes.
Okay. There's some students. They go out. They start gathering people. Skip is like, okay, no, you two are leaving now. And he walks off seemingly to go get security.
All
I
right.
think we're okay with that. We want more audience,
Yes,
right?
we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go around to every single student that comes around and be like, what is your proudest thing that you have created that's not like everyone else? What's your proudest thing? Like, get them talking.
There's a
What's
few that are actually able to show you something that they love that they've created, but
awesome?
it's a low percentile.
Every single person that does show something, I will absolutely praise and have them show it. And I want them to be talking to each other too. What's the one thing that you are missing from this school? What's the one thing that you wish you were learning that you haven't learned yet?
All
Like,
right, so
have them
y'all are getting
asking the
people
hard
questioning things.
questions.
All
Yep.
right. All right. Yeah, y'all are going around getting all this done. After a bit, uh Skip comes back with a couple deputies. Uh they sort of pull they've sort of got one of them like fires a six shooter up at the ceiling. Everybody disperse. You two are leaving.
I think Mr. Skip needs to explain to all of us why this academy is the way to do art. I think it would be very inspirational for him to do so, right? This is why everyone's
I'm
here.
going to need you to roll me something to defend against the fear possibly put into you by having a bullet fly right past your ear.
Sure, sure.
What would you like to roll for that?
Really big dice. What is good here? I mean, I feel like I'm trying to do forceful integrity, which is not my
Forceful
best.
integrity works. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I am gonna raise y'all's exposure level by. Actually, we're gonna raise it by 2 at this point because y'all have made quite the ruckus here.
so that's a D6
So that's
now.
actually correct.
Okay. Oh boy, that's not great. I got 0.
Oh, so that's a no and result, which means you fail and something additionally bad happens. You are going to be inflicted with the condition hesitant, which we're actually, for the additional consequence, we're going to roll that up to its advanced form of repelled. Cannot remain near what repels you. Advanced versions of conditions prevent you from pursuing some courses of action. So go ahead and add repelled on, and you are running.
Okay.
Nix,
right.
the two deputies kind of look over at you. They're like, "Would you like to follow your friend?"
I would like to use one of my gifts.
Oh, okay.
I want to start a riot. So,
Okay.
I would like to, so I picked my gift Stargazer.
Got it. Oh. Okay.
And I want to determine one future event.
Okay.
So, yeah, I would like to I want to have the future event be that this art college
Mm-hmm.
actually turns into something that the students all want and turns
Okay.
into something that is boasters creativity over, singular focus, repetitiveness, and changes for the better.
Can you make me a roll?
Absolutely.
All right. Go ahead, give me. I'm good with observant.
Okay.
Just because I feel like you're using the knowledge you've gained over time, by sort of observing what's going on in this academy. And then your gift die is a D8,
Yep.
and then you got a D6 from your situation.
All right. 2 successes.
Okay. The stars are aligning for your prophecy to come to pass.
And I am going to not even pay attention to the enforcers because they don't get to tell me, someone who has been in wars, what I can and cannot do.
Okay, so you're
And
just staying, or?
I am absolutely staying, and I'm going to try to convince students they are going to have to demand what they know they need, because they know if they have real honest conversations with themselves and each other, they will know exactly what they need to be successful in this school.
Okay. We're gonna pass over to back over to Biggles and Marika while you're basically starting a school-wide revolution.
All right.
So, you two are kind of down to you can tell this blight is doing its best to still hold Palais to her current course of action. You've made some progress. Uh, you notice you hear something hopping a bit behind you. This little like rubber bouncy sound.
I turn and look.
You see this sort of frog-ish creature, but its pads are like balloons. Just sort of hopping by. It's missing one of its legs. Uh, it's also made of lead. It's just a little outline. It's hollow. You can see right through it. It's a scribble.
Palais, have you drawn a frog recently?
Yeah, she sort of stands up to hear where the noise is coming from, looks over. Looks back over at the two of you. So when you asked if I was drawing scribbles earlier, yes.
Uh-huh.
We appreciate your honesty.
Don't have much of a choice at this point.
Does this look, so this looks like a blighted scribble to us?
It does not yet. It just looks like an ordinary scribble at the moment.
Oh, okay.
You
I
see
mean-
her like getting closer to it. Palais.
Would you like?
And
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna, would you like to finish it?
She sort of kneels down to it. I mean, I guess I could. She looks at it for a second, and then y'all feel this like little burst of blight energy in her. But there wouldn't be a point. And then the frog starts being infused with some energy from the blight.
Oh no.
I've got to
I get it now.
And she starts gathering up some notebooks. She turns to you, Biggles. Look, you're still passionate about all this stuff. You finish it. And starts walking away. The frog kind of turns back to y'all. it smiles at you with these like teeth that start growing into like long and sharp.
Oh no.
What would you like to do?
I would like to call out to Pally. She walks away.
Mm-hmm.
Why does there have to be a point in it? It's a frog with balloons for feet.
Can you give me one more roll?
Yep. What do you want me to roll?
Either creative communication or social art.
Uh,
Or social integrity I could also see that.
I think creative communication is probably my best bet, and then D4 for my situation, because that feels like I'm giving advice to others.
Yes.
One success.
Okay. Would you like to succeed at the cost or fail forward?
I would absolutely like to succeed at a cost.
She turns back. You do not tick the last energy of the blight. It realizes that it's fighting a losing battle. And you literally see this sort of purple, wispy energy fly out of her. And then it jets down the hall in the direction that Scraps was.
Oh no.
And she kneels down to the frog, takes out a pencil. I guess you're right. And starts finishing the frog.
Oh, look at him. He's so cute. Can I help her?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I'm
All
going to
right,
take
let's
off
give
running.
him a little bow tie. Oh,
What
cute.
what did you say, America?
I'm taking off running towards where Scraps went.
Okay. I will say, Biggles, you are gonna have to roll forceful art to resist the just natural aversion you may have to this thing, as it is still infected by the blight. So go ahead and give me a roll there.
What am I rolling?
Forceful plus art. So, Marika, can you roll me either observant athletics or forceful athletics trying to catch up to this thing?
What's our exposure thingy again now?
D6 for now.
That's
2
3
successes.
successes.
Oh, nice. Okay. Biggles, how about you?
2.
All right, yeah, you're good. You keep working on the frog. And it's kind of got no choice but to stand there trying to like creep y'all out while you just start putting a bow tie on it. So,
We're gonna fix this froggy whether he likes it or not.
so, so Marika, you start chasing down. You see, you catch up to Scraps, as he's like now got like a little thing he's putting the bags in that he's kind of like rolling around. And you see the blight energy go straight into the giant like thing he's putting the bags in and into one of the bags.
Garbage monster.
Scraps turns around. Oh, it's you. Were you able to help Pally?
Yeah, she'd said that she'd thrown a drawing away that she wanted. I think it was in that bag there, and I'll just point at the bag the blight energy went into.
He looks in. Oh, this guy picks it up, and then he accidentally drops it. It slips through his fingers out onto the floor. Oh, sorry about that. And then the bag seems to like untie itself. Would you like to do anything before it continues?
Yeah. Look, I've got this. Why don't you just go on, keep doing what you do your job, make the money, and I'll just grab this and take it back to Palais for you.
Not about the money, friend. I'm getting materials right now. That's what this bag's full of. And he starts walking down. As you can see, the last of the like blight energy that was tainting him is like pulled off and goes into the bag.
I just wanted him out of there, so.
So
and then I'd slip the brass knuckles on because just in case.
you hear, or sorry, rather, Nathaniel, you two hear, or no, sorry, brain's short-circuiting again. Marika, you also hear a bunch of chattering from voices that sound like various random students you've probably never met, but also Nyx and Nathaniel. And you kind of see down one of the hallways that there's a bunch of students there with Nyx and Nathaniel. This bag starts little scraps from Palais' notebook kind of rolling out of it, papers unfolding, and you see a bunch of little bits popping out off of the pages. Whereas the lead before would have made their outlines gray, they are now purpley in their outlines.
So this is possibly a terrible idea. I'm gonna head for Nyx and Nathaniel because I assume I assume I can pick up on the vibe of there is great unrest here.
Mm-hmm.
Can I within just a few seconds understand what the problem is?
Can you roll me observant culture? Or otherwise, you could just ask Nyx or Nathaniel, honestly. They're close by.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. I kind of walk up to them and, right, we have a problem. What is this problem before I tell you what our problem is?
I'm the problem. The students are demanding a better school.
Hi.
I may have put it in their heads that, you know, they need to have a lot more creative outlets and that their education is lacking.
Say
and
no more.
that they're demanding better schooling.
There's a blight problem over there. I'm going to keep these students here. If you want to go ahead and deal with that, I'll join you in a few seconds.
I'm trying to prevent blight from coming to all of the other students too. So
I've got this. Don't worry.
We got this.
And I will turn to the crowd, and I have the Air of Authority gift, which allows me to summon a small group of NPCs to aid in my cause for a scene, including creating a diversion.
Yes.
So I'm just throwing fuel on that fire, rabble rousing, to keep them.
That's your world ability, correct?
Yes.
So there is a cost for using gifts. Using a world ability automatically raises your exposure by 1 level.
Is everyone okay for me to do this?
Yes.
Then we'll do that. Just to keep them here and not in rampage distance.
Alrighty. So yeah, go ahead and give me a roll. That's going to be your gift die, and then social or creative.
I'll take social. It's higher.
All right.
And then does the do I use the? Oh no, it'll be D6 either way for the exposure track situation die. So that's 1 success. So that's great.
Fail forward, succeed at a cost.
I will throw this open to the rest of the players. I'm always a succeed at a cost person because I feel like it's more interesting story-wise, but okay, succeed with the cost. And I'll move the exposure tracker along 1.
All right. So, you rally these students up. I'm assuming you're directing them towards the militia of scribbles headed your way?
No, I'm trying to get the students out of here so that they don't get affected by the blight and the scribbles.
Okay. All right.
So, like, persuading them to go and take their protest outside where there's a big space.
I'm trying to figure out the cost now. Okay, yeah. So, you get them running out. Unfortunately, A lot of them drop their supplies and like sketchbooks and whatever else on their way out. And a lot of that happens to start rolling over towards the scribbles that are headed your way. Um, and yeah, these things are now equipping themselves with their paintbrushes of their own, and they start doodling on more pieces of paper themselves. It is a growing militia that is now being armed.
So
Uh, Biggles, I'd say you're probably about done finishing this frog with Palais at this point. I mean, you're two skilled artists, so don't think it would take too long. Would you like to enter this scene with Palais and your new frog buddy?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
come with me, Pally. We've got more of this to do. You know?
Alrighty. So yeah, by the two of you like fixing the frog up and completing it, you did get rid of the blight within it. So y'all make it up. You've now got this very charming looking frog on balloon padded feet. It's got a bow tie, it's got a little top hat. Still very sharp teeth. Palais decided that they wanted to keep those. Um, Sort of hopping up with the two of you in time to see a ton of art co-students running out the doors in a panic. Um, Followed by you turn a corner and you see maybe like 20, 30 scribbles just like rising, like walking down the hallway, bouncing down the hallway, crawling down the hallway, floating down the hallway. Um, Along with your three fellow branch riders, looking it all down. Spectre, I'm gonna say that while you were being escorted out, that's while this all started, and so you were given the chance to sort of turn back and head that way. Are you good with that?
I'm okay with either. I can be separated or I can be together. I'm fine with that.
We're coming towards the end, so I'll go ahead and have you all here for what is probably going to be like a bit of a final fight scene. Um, as you all kind of group back up, you see the little army of scribbles ahead of you. This little purple bunny. It's missing an ear. It's only like kind of half sketched. It's got this eye that isn't shaped quite right. Its tail is like this little long drake tail with little feathers coming off of it. Pops up. And then you see this little thing. You're not sure if it's supposed to be a sword or a spear. It kind of looks in between. Bounces up next to it. The bunny like grabs onto it with one of its ears, points it at all of you, and the scribbles charge at you. Uh, so this is combat. There's not exactly like an initiative round in Branch Riders. Basically, how it works is each of you is going to go through one sort of action, basically just a roll to do something. And at any point during that point, the blights have actions that they can interrupt with. Once everybody has kind of gone through an action, the blights have used all of their actions, then we kind of reset. So, which you would like to go first?
I'm happy to punch something. That's
Mm,
you would all know through training that that's like if I can't befriend it, I punch it.
you can definitely punch these. You want to give me fighting forceful?
Yeah. So as I so brass knuckles was just the equipment I chose.
Right. Yeah, so go ahead and upgrade one of those dice. You're not trying to help or receive help, so your situation die is going to be the D6 instead of the D4 would be from isolation.
Fantastic. Fighting and forceful are the same for me, so I'll just upgrade a random one of them.
Okay.
Oh dear.
What you got?
0 successes.
Okay, so you run up to these things, plan to like give him the good old 1-2, and they immediately like swarm and like tackle you down to the ground, and you're just taking a bunch of little hits. I'd like it if you could receive they don't really hurt all that much. They're mostly focused on just keeping you down. So go ahead and take gripped for me. That is a basic condition that if I remember correctly, uh gives you a D4 situation die until you have escaped what has gripped you. So, little note, a branch rider is taken out when they have received 2 advanced conditions. At which point you aren't like dead or anything, at least usually. But you are kind of like incapacitated until someone is able to reduce one of your conditions or remove it.
As I punch through the negative space of a scribble, completely misjudging and get dogpiled. Frogpiled. I do just call out to my fellow branch riders. Look, I'm sorry for arming them, but I needed the students out of here.
All right. Let's go ahead with Nyx. How about you? What are you doing?
So I have a quick question.
Yes.
Camouflage cloak, is that like gillyweed type of thing, or is that like a magical item?
It's a magical item.
Oh, okay. So what I would like to do is I would like to camouflage myself then.
Okay.
Find a place to perch and then just start shooting things.
Okay. Yeah, do we want to say you like find a table somewhere in like from the classroom you're right next to? Get
Yeah.
up on top of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty. Yeah, go ahead and roll me forceful subtlety. That's a rare combination. Alternatively, I'd be good with creative fighting.
I will do creative fighting.
Got it.
And then a D4 for the situation dice? Or a D6?
It's a D6 right now. It's a D4
Okay.
for Marika for certain types of actions because of the conditions they have.
Okay. One success.
Okay, would you like to succeed at a cost or fail forward?
I am going to succeed at a cost.
Okay. You start firing arrows. You know what? They're willing to use the same trick twice. You take out a few of them before one of them, like the arrow hits them, but this one's made of paint. And so the arrow like kind of stretches out and then it is going to fire right back out at you.
Fantastic.
Once again using some cartoon logic. So yeah, it can't really see you, but you're also perched up on a thing and it's just kind of firing right back where it came from. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give you the hurt condition.
Okay.
Which is a D4 for like basically we're gonna say that hits you in the arm. We're gonna say the left arm. You're gonna have trouble using that left arm.
Okay.
Scribbles are gonna take one of their actions at this point. They're gonna fire at Biggles. As a literal like a paint gun scribble hops up, but it's like a Western 6-shooter, but with like the tube on the back to hold the paint. And so it just starts rapid firing at you. This is not a blight power, so you can choose how you want to defend against this.
Okay. What can I choose? What should I do? What am I choosing from?
Whatever you want. As long as you can justify its use to defend yourself against this attack.
Um, I can do like a creative fighting, to just have like a shield. Well, or I could use my gift to like take a big paint brush and just kind of like paint a shield in front of my face.
Alrighty. Yeah, go ahead and roll me creative with your gift.
Ooh. 3 successes.
Okay, that's a yes and result. So yeah, we're gonna say that all the paint just kind of splatters onto the shield, and then after a bit of like you start hearing click, 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 as it's just run out of the paint in the little like drawn canister it's got for it. Alrighty, now Spectre or Biggles, which of you would like to go next?
I think I'm just gonna go cartoon logic. I'm just gonna grab a paintbrush or a charcoal pencil, and I'm gonna try to finish each of the drawings that are attacking Marika to hopefully that'll de-scribbleize themselves.
Okay. Do you want to go with, you could do creative art, observant art?
Creative art. I'll take that. So,
Alrighty.
all right. 1 success. So I'll take the success with the consequence.
Okay. You do start finishing some of these. However, they're going to get a free opportunity to attack you. So, a bunch of them kind of run up, including that bunny with the sword in its ear, and start kind of jabbing at you. I'm going to need you to roll observant plus fighting.
Okay. I got 1.
Okay. You're not going to get the full wounded that this attack usually does. Instead, you are going to just get hurt. As you just kind of get scraped up some by the various drawn claws and probably swords. And some of them are just kind of like tapping you. You're some of the scribbles here. I mean, the Blight's trying to use them to fight, but like there's not much of a way to fight when you're like a teddy bear. So the punches from that thing aren't really doing all that much. So, Biggles, you're up next. What are you doing?
I'm gonna take Palais and be like, "Hey man, remember what we did with the frog? Let's finish some scribbles."
She
Yeah.
unholsters her paintbrush and pulls it out, almost holding it almost like a sword in front of her with like a whole stance.
Yeah, me too. And so we're gonna do like a, Shanghai Noon style back to back coloring.
Love it. Okay, yeah, the scribbles are like jumping out at you. Creative fighting, forceful art.
I will.
Go ahead and upgrade. Actually, upgrade 2 of your dice since you've got Palais helping you.
Right. I will forcefully art. 2 successes. Actually, no, 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, y'all are able to take out quite a few of them that way. A lot of them keep like jumping at it up at you as like the 2 artists. There's still some of that scribble instinct in them that's like, "Oh, someone who can finish me." And so the Blight's kind of just having to deal with that while it's trying to attack you through these things. and it ends up working in both y'all's favor. You're able to finish up quite a few of them. I'm curious, what are some of the creations you're making out of some of these unfinished doodles?
Well, there's Bunny with the sword gets his ear back. The sword has like a whole well, he's got arms and legs now, so he's like a little dancing sword. So he's like a full thing. Bunny's got his ear back. We've got a an unfinished nude, definitely. There's a couple of nudes in there. Because, everybody
Anatomy
loves to
learning.
draw nudes. Yep. And so, yeah, we've got painted a chair for one so she can recline. And got a staircase for another one so she can descend it, looking all nice. Stuff like that.
Alrighty.
All the classics. Painted a bowl so that some fruit can jump in there.
I had this image in my head at one point of like an unfinished eyeball. I'm just gonna say that's what you turned into a bowl. So there's like a little eye on the bowl part that's like like blinking.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, there's not many of them left. This small army, small militia of like 30 different scribbles has been reduced down to 5, maybe closer to 10. Um, they're gonna get one more attempt in. This is not how these things usually use this power, but they are going to all of them target each of you with forget. I'm going to need all of you to roll knowledgeable plus communication as these things try to wipe your memory of them.
Oh boy. One success.
2 successes.
Okay. 0 successes? Oh.
2 successes.
Okay, so we've got 2 from Nix and Marika, 1 from Biggles, and 0 from Nathaniel. Okay. Nathaniel, you got no clue where you are. You got no clue what you're doing. You're receiving yet another condition of hesitant, except I believe you're already at repelled, correct?
Yeah.
All
I
right,
got
we're just
repelled
gonna
and hurt.
switch. We're gonna just switch the repelled to instead of you being repelled by like the law enforcement and Skip Tutor, you're now repelled from these things. Simply because you forgot they're there and you forgot there's a fight going on, and now you're confused as to what's happening and you're hesitant to do anything.
I can imagine this is also completely out of my purview. Like I'm all about tech and like information, and this is
Oh
just
yeah.
art come to life, right? So
Oh yeah, this is art come to life. You think teammates, you're having a bit of trouble remembering at the moment, are fighting them, and you're like, I'm not touching this.
sorry,
Uh,
everybody.
Biggles, you've got 1 success. Um, what conditions do you have right now? Do you have any?
No.
Okay. In that case, they're just going to blank your memory for a moment, and one of the remaining scribbles is going to get just a short bit while you're a bit confused, where it just hops up and slaps you for a condition of hurt.
Ow.
In fact, this is an unfinished still life of a table. It's just the like top part of it, so it's just this board that hops up and.
Uh,
All right. Now, Nix, Marika, you two feel these things trying to shut out your memory, but you've both seen some combat before, and you're like in it. You're focused. You're in the zone right now, so it's just like, nope, we're fighting these things. All right. Um, Probably only 1 or 2 more rolls to take these things out. Who wants to take it?
be completely honest. Until I get up, I'm probably not going to be that helpful.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I'm not an artsy person. Instead, what I would like to do is just make sure that like our team is not getting swarmed or freaking out. So like Spectre, if Spectre starts freaking out,
Okay.
I would go to help him instead.
Okay. Would you like to go and like pull the last few scribbles keeping Marika down off so that they are no longer gripped?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Go ahead and just forceful fighting works for me for that.
Some
You're gonna have a D4 because of your hurt condition for the situation die.
okay. Two successes.
Okay. Yeah. You're able to pull the rest of those off. Marika, go ahead and remove your gripped condition.
Woo.
Would you like to do anything now that you're up and able to?
I would like to wild haymaker to knock as many of the scribbles as I can, because I'm assuming they don't have that much weight,
No.
through the air towards our dueling artists.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead. Give me. I mean, I'm good with forceful fighting again. You've got the knuckles. I'll give you an upgrade for one of your dice on that.
Thank you. Hopefully this goes better than it did last time. It did. Not by much, but I'll take one success.
All
It
right.
was a 10 on the D10, but
I'm afraid overkill does not do much for you in this system.
I didn't think it would. I figured I'd shoot my shot anyway.
Alrighty. Yeah. Succeed at a cost or fail forward.
I'll absolutely succeed at a cost.
Okay. Yeah. You're gonna punch these things at Biggles and Palais. However, you forgot to give them a warning beforehand, so they're gonna get a D4 on their response for the situation die. All right, Biggles, you want to roll that creative art?
Yeah.
See, I'd also allow observant instead of creative if you want to, but I think creative is higher for you.
It is, yep.
All right,
Line
yeah.
them up and I'm taking them out.
Alrighty, I'm gonna give you one upgrade from Palais this time, as she also did not see what was coming.
I'm sorry.
uh,
I've got this image of this like little like golem creature just like got tossed out and just took it in stride, is like winding up a punch as it's coming in.
one success.
One success. All right. Well, you took some of them out with the punch on the way here, Marika. So we're gonna say that one success does manage to take out the rest of them. However, Biggles, you are gonna get weakened in the process, which is a D4 for putting forth extra effort, as you have basically just drawn your way out of like 15 things in rapid succession. But yeah, with that, the not exactly corpses, the finished art of your enemies lay on the ground. Many of them sort of like fall back into paper as the scribbles are as the blight has been beaten out of them and the scribbles are satisfied with their completions. The rest of them just kind of fall apart. You can kind of see them like inching themselves back together again, and Pally just kind of looks over. There's only a few. I can deal with the rest of those, and goes to like start working on it. It goes to start working on them.
Go, girl.
Y'all do not have any sign of any sort of blight left in the area. Go ahead and reduce your exposure down to D10 again, as you have taken care, basically, all of the blight that has come up in this area. So, unless there's anything else in particular y'all want to do, I believe that is heading back to the Nexus for the four of you.
I think there's one thing we have to do, and that is to dethrone Skip make sure he doesn't keep doing this. Because he's just gonna go right back to doing this
Yep.
again. We need to
Oh.
either
Yep.
take him out or give him another job.
I may have set something in motion, which may be why they had the ability to replicate themselves.
Oh.
Hmm.
I can be very persuasive when I want to be.
So do we need to worry about Skip then? I don't think we do.
Define worry.
Yeah,
In a social state, probably not.
it
Physically?
seems kind of like the students kind of own the school now, which is a good thing. They can be
At least this
self-led.
one. He does have many other schools of many different art forms, but at least this one y'all have managed to change.
I
think
feel
y'all can
like
come back for the rest another day.
yeah, I feel like at some point we might be able to unionize all the students.
Alrighty. Then yeah, as the students enter back into the school, Skip kind of gives you all like a very nasty glare for kind of like adjusting his bow tie and heading back in. You can see the sweat coming down his face as he walks back into his school, which he very much understands he's going to either have to come up with some very quick thinking and speeches or make some compromises.
Yeah, enjoy the
So-
next faculty meeting there, buddy. I'm sure it goes great for you.
I'll just shout after him, I'll see you later.
All right. Yeah, so I think that's where we're gonna end it today. Y'all contact the branch riders back in the Nexus. They pull you back out. And y'all have done very well on your first mission as a team. Congratulations. So, we've only got a few minutes left, but I'm just curious what y'all think of the system.
I'm very excited to be playing it again tomorrow.
Oh, right, you're in the one
Yeah.
tomorrow, aren't you?
This is my second time playing it. I absolutely love this system and I love the setting.
Yeah, this was great. I'd totally play it again.
Sorry for having Nathaniel run away twice. That's great.
It's okay. I'm sorry, that was half on me. I didn't mean to keep hitting you with hesitant and rebelled. It just kind of happened.
I mean, he's a librarian. I don't think he's used to battle.
There.
This is not my wheelhouse.
The archives aren't like this at all.
So, yeah, if any of you are interested or if anybody watching is interested, we do, again, have a Kickstarter going. It started up about a week ago. It'll be going, I think about like 24 more days. I might have that wrong or
Go back it.
words. Yes. This is one of the 8 realms. Our characters here are from some of the other realms. Marika here is, I believe, from the Burrows, which is sort of a noir detective realm, full of like mysteries and red herrings and conspiracy theories. Nyx here is from the Crags, which is a sort of more standard high fantasy realm, kind of similar to something you'd see in like Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder. However, it is completely infested with blight, where it's like even the air you breathe is blight pretty much all the time. And there's a lot of eldritch horrors to be found there. Biggles is from the Borderlands, actually, so she was playing out in our home realm, in their home realm today. And Nathaniel Spector is from the Terminal, which is sort of a sci-fi realm where they came very close to a utopic society only to fail because they messed with AI. An AI that is purely organizational and shut everything down because of a virus running through it. So those are some of the realms that we got a little bit of insight into from our characters here today. We will be playing again at the same time Sunday with a mostly different group. Ryan here, our player for Marika, will be here tomorrow. And we will be playing in the realm of the Rails, which is a bit of a post-apocalyptic realm full of athletes and survivalists. I'm very excited to be running that tomorrow. So yeah, I think that's about all the time we got. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank all of you for playing with me and helping me showcase this game today.
Thank you for running it.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Hope you all enjoy the rest of the con.